So if you're thinking about leaving some of your personal belongings behind for your tenant at your rental property because you think you're being nice, well, you might want to think about that again, because really what you might be doing is opening yourself up to some potential disappointment and really opening yourself up to some serious risk. So stay tuned and I'll tell you why. My name is Sue Richey. I'm a real estate broker and the owner of Richey Property Management in Reston, Virginia. We get a lot of owners who ask us, hey, can I just leave some things like locked up in a storage room or just lock off the basement? They don't want to go get a storage unit and take it out of the property. So of course that seems easier, but you definitely don't want to do that. A couple things. One, in a scenario like that, you have no idea if there's damage. Let's just say, for example, the basement floods and you have your stuff in a storage room that's locked up and the tenant never goes in there, but the basement floods. Now, all of a sudden, no one can get access to that. You have no idea where the problem might have started. You don't know if it's the tenant's fault. You don't know if it's just something that happened with the home. There's a lot of just uncertainty. Not a good idea. Maybe there's some infestation that happened in the property, like bugs that you don't know if they came from your stuff, if they came from the tenant's stuff. What if your stuff gets damaged? You can't really blame it on the tenant in that case, and so it's just not a good idea. Another scenario like that is, let's say you wanted to leave some lawn equipment behind, because why not? Why make the tenant buy a new lawnmower? Or why make them buy a weed eater? Well, that's nice, but if that tenant gets hurt using your equipment, they could come back and sue you, and that could be a problem. Your insurance isn't going to cover it because now you have a landlord policy that's not covering your personal belongings or the liability. And so it's really a problem. It would be totally different if it was their lawnmower or their weed whacker and they got hurt. That would be a bad scenario, but it's not going to come back on you. And so you're opening yourself up to a lot of liability. The other thing I would tell you, just in terms of being disappointed, is if you leave some things in the home and you think, well, let them use it, most likely you really need to set your expectations up that stuff is really not going to come back to you in the same condition that it was. Just like your rental property. We know that there's normal wear and tear, and we can do something about that. We can charge if there are significant damages that the tenant does to the home itself, to the structure, to the real estate. But for personal property, we can't really do that. You're not really set up to do that, and that doesn't really fall under your lease. So I would encourage you to think twice about whether you want to leave things behind. If you're looking again at like a bunch of storage, just get a storage unit. It's much cleaner, it's much less liability for you, and it's just much easier. So I hope those things are helpful in deciding whether or not to leave your things behind. You just know exactly where your things are, and you don't have anyone you have to blame. So hopefully that's helpful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might also find it beneficial. And we'll have more videos like this, so subscribe and you'll get notified every week when we put out a new video. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.